Okay, well, in the interest of staying on schedule and respecting everybody's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to just kind of on a social distancing, masking point of view, if you have a question and you would like to speak to the group, we're going to kind of follow the protocol of what they're doing at the college, and that is you may remove your mask to speak, and then that way everyone can hear you clearly. So our speakers are going to do that. But as we're visiting amongst each other, if you would kind of help follow those rules, that would help us. For those of you that are online, hello, welcome. Sam is moderating online and she's doing a fantastic job. She will be putting up anything that goes on the screen into a separate window for you, so you can click on that and view what's on the screen, or you can click on the speaker and be able to see the speaker at the same time. So welcome. This is our first boot camp, and man, it's a hard time to be in business, isn't it, guys? It's a little bit of a struggle. Everything's different, right? I mean, everybody's the same. No, no feedback on that. Y'all the same. Okay, no, I know we're all different. You either have no customers, you have a whole other set of problems. Maybe you're overwhelmed with too much business. That's a real thing. I know some of us that's not the case, but there are some businesses where they have too many customers, not enough employees. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. On top of that, you're managing a whole different process. Facebook kind of changed a little bit on us, and the rest of the world changed in the process. Even getting, disinfecting wipes, like that used to be no big deal. That's harder, right? So a lot's changed, and so really the chamber took all of the things that people were asking us questions and put it into some programs to help you guys, because we believe you guys are super valuable. We don't want to see a single business close. So for us, that's what this is all about. Helping you guys move forward, keep growing. We don't want to just see you survive. We'd like to see you thrive. If we can get you there, we want to do that. So that's what the boot camps are about. Really today, if you're online or you're in person, what I want you to really focus on is pulling away at least one thing that you're going to put into practice in your business. So be really looking for that one tool that you're going to put in your toolbox. I'd love to say you're going to leave with 10, but I know what retention rates are. And there are going to be a lot of things that we say today, and it might not stick. But find the one thing that you know that's going to be awesome for you. We're also going to try to send a follow-up with this, with all the materials and things, so you can take a look at it and pull it up later to kind of refresh your memory as well. So just a couple housekeeping things. This is a discussion-based group, and so if you're online, I just want you to be encouraged. Send Sam a chat message, and she will ask your question. Do not hesitate to interrupt. In this case, it's kind of like we're all family and we're all learning together. We feel that everyone has something valuable to contribute to the conversation, and that's really what we're doing, is having a discussion, a conversation about marketing and how to build your business. So Sarah might have a great idea, and Linda might have a great question. All of those things are really important to the process of learning together. So don't hesitate to say, hang on a second, can you explain that more? Or can you give me a specific example of how that works? And because it's a discussion, that means that all of you can chime in. So Janelle might be talking about something and ask a question, or maybe she doesn't ask a question, but you have a really good example. I would encourage you to hop in and say, hey, I have an idea of where that might work. So just kind of housekeeping, if you've been to a collective hours before, that's pretty much how they operate, very open on the discussion part. A couple of things. The chamber, the Rock Falls Chamber, is all about local businesses. And we're talking about marketing. So I would be a fool if I didn't talk about what we have to offer. So a lot of you are members and you're aware of what we have to offer, but some of you are not. And I wanted to make sure, just to kind of refresh that information, as chamber members, we can send out information in our email blast, which actually hits over 1,000 people locally. It's a combination of owners and employees and people that are just interested in community activities. So if you're a member, we'll send out e-blasts for you. It can be an ad, it can be a special, it can be an event, it can be just information. I'm looking at Sarah, she's done that for her a couple times, and it's just a good way to get more impressions of your information out. We do the same thing for free, so there's no charge for that if you're a member. Same thing for free on our Facebook, which actually reaches 5,000. So it's a way of extending your network and getting more impressions at no extra charge to you. The other thing that we do is really help you connect to the community, and we also provide one-on-one consultation. So if you are struggling with Facebook, or you're struggling with how to get the right kind of employees in your door, whatever your struggle is, we will either connect you to the resource or we'll sit down with you and try to help you work through solving those problems. So don't hesitate to reach out, member or not, we want to help you. I did provide for everyone a membership packet. So if you're not a member, we'd love to have you come and take a look at that, and we'll give you some more information. Kind of as a note on that, for most of our small businesses, it runs about $13.50 a month, and so that's pretty affordable. Last thing I want to say really quick in the beginning housekeeping thing is that I hope that you get something out of this today. I promised that you would, so that works if you're listening and interacting with us, but also encourage friends to join this, whether virtual or in person, on your tables. And if you guys are online, it's on our website. There is a full schedule of all of the bootcamp programs that we have coming up. And each of them have a different focus. Again, things that businesses in our community have brought up to our attention that they need. So our next one in November is really called Planning Upgrades, but it's really talking about your business plan. If you have not changed your business plan since COVID hit, that means how you're interacting with customers, how you're talking about your products, your process, your attention to what weaknesses or strengths you have, it's time. So we're going to help you work through that process, and it's followed up with a individual consultation by this SBDC, which is our Small Business Development Center. They can sit down with you and actually help you formulate a plan to move forward, and it's no charge. So that is a really great resource for everybody that's part of that program. So invite friends, share us on Facebook, like us, follow along. Anybody have any questions to start? You guys are really quiet today. So we're going to start with introductions. That way you all feel comfortable with each other. And I would like you to introduce yourself, tell what business you represent, and one quick thing about that business that you would like to share with this group, which essentially is an opportunity to market your business to others. So I'm going to start over here. So you taught me I first. And I won't steal your thunder or your name. And Sam will share who's visiting online, just maybe you can say those out loud as they pop up. That would be great. So go ahead.
My name is Nathan Starr. I'm with Star Media, and also now speaking today. She's much better suited than I am, so I will let her do marketing part of her.
All right, go ahead. Excellent.
Happy and shopping for crystals. We have everything from natural healing to crystals, jewelry, a wonderful gift shop. So if you want to stop by, you're definitely missing out on the wonderful things that we have in our store. So for our first time, stop by and see us. Open 6 days a week. We close on Monday.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent.
I'm Linda. I'm with the Homer Township office.
What's going? Tell everybody about the Thanksgiving project that you guys have going on, because that's actually really cool and important. Even if you just preview what it is quickly.
Okay. Well, maybe everybody here can help us come up with some ideas for that. In the past, every Thanksgiving we try to get out Thanksgiving baskets to the community. We do this in partnership with Sterling Township offices. In the past, we always had people come in and sign up for those turkey giveaways, and then they all come on a certain day with their lobster. They pick up their basket that has everything for Thanksgiving dinner. And we also solicit businesses and individuals to help, fund the program. So COVID, it has created many problems. The program all started back when the steel mill closed. And people, it was right around the time of Thanksgiving or whatever, and they wanted to ensure that families that were really going through some troubled times would have a Thanksgiving dinner. So that's when it all started back some time ago. This is the first year that we're trying to figure out a different plan to use, because in the past you have to improve who you are, you know, I work on a D and then live in the township, and there's really no need-based thing other than they come in and they fill this out. Many people, so primarily most of the people that come in are on a need-based, but there are some retired individuals that live on a discretionary income, you know, every month, just like, you know, some other people, and to have Thanksgiving dinners hard for them and their families at that time, so that we service a lot of those. This year, we've been talking with Sterling Chamber, and they've decided not to take applications because of the problem of, you know, the people that we have to come into the office and all the paperwork you'd be handling and just all of the exposure that, especially with the new rules now coming into play. So we're trying to figure out how we can still support the community and still provide with Thanksgiving, you know, dinner, and without it being similar to your food that you do,
Yeah.
that they really won't sign up for it, but we need to. This is part of my reason for being here today.
Yeah.
Is to figure out how we can reach the right people to let them know on a certain day what we're going to do, and they don't need to have been pre-registered. That might also cause some confusion with people coming that normally don't come.
Yeah.
Or coming multiple times through the documents. So I've asked even Bethany after this, I've got some information to share with her to see if, and I offer suggestions to anybody here, how we can go about still providing this necessary thing to the community without
Yeah. So,
being abused. Because,
yeah.
for instance, last year.
You have a limit on what you can purchase because you purchase. So kind of in the interest of time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of save that idea, and we're going to work through some solutions to that. And then personally, I will absolutely meet with you one-on-one, and I have some ideas for that. But I would encourage everyone who has an idea for Linda, we're going to kind of go back into this a little bit towards the end, and we'll get some direct responses for those problems.
Well, one suggestion, just real quick, that just was offered up to us today, is to get a gift card.
Oh,
For a
sure.
certain amount of money that we could hand out in advance to these families. So, but the gift card could only be used for certain items.
Sure. Well, almost like a certificate to go to Save-A-Lot and get a basket of specific items already predetermined. I think there's a lot of solutions, and what I would say to everyone that's having a problem in your business, because this is a big deal, and this describes what a lot of people are going through. It's not just food pantry issues, but like it feels like there's 2 solutions or 3. There's probably 30, and that's what this group is about, and we will absolutely help you.
We usually service 500 people from Rockall, and Sterling does like 600.
So that's a ton. And these are big baskets. They're like a turkey and a whole bunch of things. So we will. Yeah, and I will teach you some, I can show you how to do that. That's how we did our registration here. We use Google Forms as a registration, and I can show you how to do that.
Only problem would be a lot of these people don't have internet.
So you could come in and be on WIX and have conversation with Steve Marco and get the word out that way on the same administration. So that, you know, that would be something you could do.
That's a great option.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for the interest of time and our online people who may not be able to catch all the details, I'm going to move us forward. We are on Team Linda, and we're going to help get these food baskets to the people who need it, and hopefully just one per person, one per family. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and just kind of a quick, actually, you know what, let's skip you because you're a speaker. I'm sorry. Put a pin in that. Redirect, we're family, so we'll just, make it work. I'm going to go to you, and then we'll reintroduce our speakers as they come along, because I don't want to miss anyone.
Okay.
But.
All right, my name is Sarah Flo. I am a lawyer and founder of the Amherst was launched this year. We're a new small business owner. The bonus
for handcrafted, chemical-free natural products, ranging from spa-like skincare to home care to personal cosmetics. The idea is to eradicate chemicals from totality cycle in your home. Everything that you use, switch. So that's what I'm bringing to my friends, family, and community.
Good, wonderful. All right, go ahead.
We service across certain areas with basic heating needs.
Yes, and we need that because it's heat time or air conditioning time. I'm not sure, both, right? Her husband had the AC on, and 2 days ago I had to turn the heat on. Yeah, it's a thing. Who do we have online, Sam?
We had Anna Garcia and Paula Kane and Abby Colbert.
Okay, cool. So I think we have Steel River Systems represented and Harvest Time Bible Church, and so we've got a good crew here today. And I have a couple others that are going to be hopping on virtual a little bit late. So, Janelle, please come tell us how to run our life online. Janelle is from Star Media. She is an expert. She is somebody that I would ask for help from if I need help. And she is absolutely wonderful. Okay, so do you want this to go away, or do you want this to stay?
If we can take it down from up there, so
Yes.
they're not just reading along.
No reading along, guys.
Conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Go ahead, Janelle. It's all you. Yep.
Okay, I'm Janelle Starr. I'm with Star Media. We have been working on websites and graphic design for probably 15 years now. And just last November, we were able to move into our building uptown across the street from Flipside. So that's been very exciting for us. So I'm going to talk first about why you need a website. And I just have some stats for you. I'm not going to show you any pictures of websites because everyone's website is going to be so completely different. So like, just if you guys don't mind me using you as examples, but we are working on websites for Comfort Zone, and eventually we will for Amber and Smoke too, but they're going to need two completely different things for their websites. Comfort Zone is going to be more of a simple website with contact information and their service area, where like Amber and Smoke is going to have a full e-commerce website where you can actually buy the products online. So I feel like it's a disservice to show you the different websites because everyone needs something completely different. But I do feel like everyone needs a website. There's, you know, someone mentioned earlier, like a lot of people don't have the internet, but they do, they have it on their phone. So as of last year, 90% of adults in America are on the internet in some form or fashion. They may not have internet service at home, but everybody is online. And if they can't get it, you know, through their phone, or if they can't get it at home, they can go to the library and use the internet. So people are going online. I think that websites put forth a more professional presence than what you can get on like a Facebook page or Twitter or whatever, you know, whatever social media that you're using. And I am going to talk about social media later, so it's kind of silly for me to say this, but with a website, you own that information. It can be completely customized to what you want on your website, where with Facebook, you get what they give you. You can fill in the blanks with your information, but your information is basically going to look the same as what everyone else does on social media websites. Another stat that I have for you is about people visiting your website to check you out. So before they are going to come into your physical business or before they're going to order from you, we're looking at like 70% of people are going online to visit a website before they go into that physical location. With restaurants, it's even higher. I found some numbers that were saying 77% of diners will visit a restaurant's website before they dine in or order from the establishment. And out of those, 70% just won't even go to the restaurant because they just have a terrible website. They can't find a menu online. They don't like the way that it looks, the pictures don't look good on their website, and so they just won't even go to that restaurant. And then of course now with COVID, a lot of people are shopping online. There was a study done recently that said that the number of shoppers online has jumped up 8% just in this last 8 months or whatever that we've been in this time. So you have to have an online presence because, if your business gets shut down because of the region's metrics or whatever is happening, I mean, you guys probably saw it with a big drop in your customers coming into the shop.
Actually, it's done the opposite.
It's what?
It's done the opposite.
Really?
We have extended our hours and we extended our days,
Okay.
and it's like crazy.
Okay, but during the shutdowns, when you actually had to be shut down?
At first, people were afraid,
Mhm.
and then it's like, oh, they need to because our shop is not just about product, it's about good environment.
Sure.
They come in, they express. There's a whole lot more than just coming in buying products.
Yeah.
So it actually, our shop has really helped people just get in the good energy and de-stress.
Good. That's great to hear.
Sure, and I'm not to negate your point here, but truthfully, when I launched my business in February, I saw sales increase in March, and I'm a brand new business, like I'm starting from ground zero with everything. And in March, I had 25 orders, April it increased to 37, May, 40 some, June, 65.
Right.
Because of the online push through my social media.
Right, exactly.
They were online looking for that. And
Yeah.
the products I'm currently making in my kitchen at my home.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And yet it's deter people with placing those orders. And I just offer free delivery to the certain hospitals. Yeah, I can literally drop behind your doorstep
Right.
and accept digital forms of payment. And
Yeah.
it works very well.
So you're right about that, but it is still online, so you're still getting those sales by being online. So, yeah. And of course, the bigger businesses are going to see this. Amazon sales have jumped up exponentially since the shutdown started. So, and then just another point that I'm going to make about having a website is it's a very effective way to market your business, which is obviously what we're here talking about. But a lot of people think that right now is a terrible time to be marketing their business, and it's actually the best time to be marketing your business. You have to get it out there and let people know that you're available. So don't stop advertising in whatever format that you're advertising in. Don't stop doing that. Even if you have to cut back, this is like a great time to just keep that name recognition going and keep people aware that you're out there and that you're still running your business. One of the things that you might think about is just reallocating some dollars, especially, and now, things are starting to open back up again, but if shutdowns happen, a good way to reallocate your dollars is to think about where people are at. Like during the time that everything was shut down, probably not a great idea to be spending a whole bunch of money on billboards because people aren't driving around, so they're not seeing those billboards. But maybe if you had dollars to spend on TV or, and I don't know about radio. I don't want to speak about that. Like I listen to the radio in my car, but if I'm at work, I am playing Pandora online. So I'll let Lisa talk about that. But just a few website features that I want to go over. And I don't know if all of you have websites available right now, but there's.
What's up? Okay, shop website. Who has a website? Okay, so we have a couple of people who don't have a website, so I think that is critical, and I would think even for some of them online, that was also basically
Okay,
information.
sure.
So, those two toolbox, guys.
So some of the standard features of websites that should be on every website, no matter what it is, even if it's just like a little landing page to get people your phone number and your contact information, is photos and or video is always great. That draws the eye for people. If you look at eye tracking studies, and I haven't looked at them for a long time, but when I worked at the newspaper, we looked at the eye tracking studies. And so people look at photos first in a newspaper, then they look at the headlines, the captions, and then they read the first few paragraphs of the story. You kind of see the same thing with websites. They're looking at the photos and videos, they're looking at those infographics, the things that stand out, and then they're reading the text. So you don't want to have like a ton of text on your website, just get the information there that you need to have. Other standard features would be like a listing of your services and products, an about section. It's always good with an about section on a website to get personal, and you don't have to go like too far with it, but people like to know about you. Like people like to know, you know, who you are that are running the business. And then of course your contact information, your location. If you're a physical location, a map on there is good to get people to your location, and then your hours of business are good too. And then there's some other premium features on websites that are, and I say premium just because that's how we classify them when we're doing quotes, but you know, as your website grows, the bigger your company is, you might want to add on different things. E-commerce obviously is one of them, to be able to sell your products online. A blog or a portfolio, depending on what your type of business is. Booking systems, document libraries, and even membership options for people.
Yeah. Question, comment.
Do you know anything about the distribution of websites on versus mobile?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I don't know if the online people get here, but she just asked about mobile, the number of people looking at mobile websites versus desktop. And we are looking at about 65 to 70% of people are viewing only on mobile devices. So that's a huge number. And my husband was actually a great example of this up until a few weeks ago. He's just started recently working full-time for the business, but he was the IT director at a school district, and he only looked at his mobile phone unless I asked him to do something on Photoshop for me. So, you know, and he's an IT director, so. So yeah, you have to make sure that your website is mobile friendly, that it responds to the size of the screen. Most websites you can get to, even if they're not mobile friendly, but you have to like scroll around on your phone, and it makes it really inconvenient, or you have to make things bigger to read the text. So it's really important that your website will respond to the size of that screen and look good. Did I answer your question?
Linda has a question.
Yes.
Many times I look at websites, we do not have them. One of the reasons I think they decided not to have them was because of the time involved in upkeeping the website. Can you explain like how much time? Many websites I look at are like haven't posted something for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when I talked about blogs, that was one thing that, you know, that I always mention to our clients too. If you're going to have a blog on your website, you have to keep it updated, because you go to that website and you think, is this person even still in business anymore? And I'll talk about that with social media later too, but you wonder, like, if they haven't posted anything for 2 years, like, do they really even care about their business? So as far as upkeep on a website goes, that's another thing it just depends on what you have on your website. So I'm sorry to keep going back to you guys, but I know what you're gonna have on your website. But like with comfort zone heating and cooling, where they're gonna just have basically like a list of services, their service area and things like that, for them, it's not really a lot of upkeep. It doesn't really matter if we update their website just once a year, which is what we do. You know, we go through our client list once a year on a rotating basis. But like for something like Sarah's business with Amber and Smoke, when she has e-commerce on there, she's going to be constantly putting on new products and everything. So that does take a lot more upkeep for it.
So it varies.
It really does. It just depends on the type of website that you have. So like for the township website, that would kind of be in the middle of that. Like, you're not going to have an e-commerce website, obviously, but you'll want to have announcements about things that are happening. So, you know, if it's something that you do in a house, then it's, you know, maybe once a week you spend an hour just making updates to your website. We offer a service where we will actually maintain people's websites for them, and they just basically email us, and we try to get it done in 2 business days. So there's lots of different options out there. It just kind of depends on the business.
And a landing page too, just for those of you who maybe don't have a website yet, and you're like, okay, what is all of that?
Right.
So just like a landing page is essentially website that has the very basic information. So it might have a photo, your logo, your free services, a phone number, and an address. Like just that's it.
Yep, exactly.
And then, that's basically the starting of the website, and then you go from there to add on additional things, like for you guys, maybe the minutes or the agenda, which could be an optional feature for you, or you could just have a landing site. So,
and I'm glad you said that about the minutes and agendas. That's another thing. You talk about government websites. There's a lot of rules and regulations of what needs to be on a website for government agencies. So I know that some of the school district websites, we have a 2-page list. I think it was two or 3 pages of just things that if you have a website, you have to have on it. One section of it is if you have a full-time person on staff maintaining your website, you have to have these certain things on there. So yeah, the government thing gets into a whole different ballgame with what you need.
but Facebook might be an option for them as a substitute since it's not a website.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have to have the agenda minutes on there, but they can essentially have that.
Right.
It's not the advisable thing for everybody,
Right.
but it might
Well,
be.
I just looked at another township's website, and all their information was from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's like,
You don't want to do that, that's not good.
Right, I don't know what site you looked at, I don't know the situation obviously, but sometimes what happens is that one person is maintaining that website, no one else knows how to do it, so there's no redundancy there. And then, that person leaves and no one knows how to update it, so it just goes by the wayside. I'm working on one for a library in Hanover, Illinois right now, and that was the situation with them. Their website hasn't been updated since 2014, 2012 maybe, but the previous director left, didn't teach the new director how to update anything, so it's just all completely out of date. What are we looking at for time?
I think we can do about 5 more minutes, and then we can touch back and then we're next.
Sure, that's fine. I'm gonna skip through, I have this document for everyone that actually will be included in the packet, so you can read through everything that's on here, but some of the things about websites to watch out for is is it Sarah? Okay, like Sarah said, make sure that it's mobile friendly because of that, that high number of people that are looking at websites online. Is your website following legal requirements? So this goes back to what Linda was saying too. There's, besides the things for government websites, all websites should have a privacy policy if you're collecting people's personal information through contact forms. Terms of service, the cookies, if you have Google Analytics, you have to have that little cookies notice that pops up on your website. There's a lot of things to watch out for, and so that's kind of one of the reasons that we caution people to at least look into hiring a professional to do your website. And this is my shameless plug for Star Media. We know all the best practice things, and you can, you'll see online all the time the advertisements for Wix or GoDaddy Builder, or I don't know, throw out a few. There's tons of them that make it seem like it's cheap and it's easy and it's quick to do, but it's none of those things usually. And we stay up to date on all of these best practices. So do you have?
Yeah, tell me what you need.
Okay, that's fine. The why hire us one.
Absolutely.
So there's a link for this on my packet too, but so these are just some reasons to consider hiring a professional. And of course, we would love for you to come to us, but even if it's another professional, that's fine. But one of the reasons is a local person that you can talk to. I've talked to a lot of companies that they're dealing with someone online, they've never met them, they don't know who the person is, but like we're right up the street. So, you can come on up and chat with us about your website and see how things are working and talk to us. We're a follow small business, and so we want to see your business grow. That's been one of our goals since the beginning of our business, is we want to help our peers succeed. So, so you have us in your corner on that. I'm going to skip through some of these because I don't have a lot of time.
It goes fast.
this is where, number 5 is what I was saying, we stay up to date on best website practices. Number 6 is domain hosting design. We'll take care of everything for you. We have all the tech stuff taken care of, so you don't have to worry about like buying your domain name and where you're going to get hosting and having the website designed. Number 7, I really like, you have better things to do than build your own site. Like, you guys need to focus on your own business. Yeah, sorry, Sarah, I'm gonna pick on you again. But Sarah needs to be mixing in her kitchen, not worrying about what her website is, you know, how to build her website. And it gets frustrating because you're starting to work on stuff and they make it seem easy, and then you get into it and it's like, oh, well, you kind of do need to know code, or you kind of do need to know these best practices things. So it's always good to have someone who already has that knowledge, and you can focus on your business and we'll help you get the website up and running. And then I'm going to skip down to number 10, which is we can help you develop and build your brand. So I have some flyers that will be in your packet, or I have some back here too, that just show all the different things that we do. So we're very much about consistency, and we want you to look the same no matter what you are advertising, and whether it's in the newspaper or if you're advertising on the radio, you know, we want your message to be the same, and we can help with all of those things.
So one of the really cool things that Star Media does is to really do the whole package. So how I met Nathan and Janelle was through the newspaper world a million years ago, not quite that long, but a long, long time ago. And they are very, very good at doing a printed ad design, doing a logo, doing your website, helping you with social media. So this is a company that's local that does that, and this isn't all about just plugging companies, but you need those things. So if you've been to chamber collectives before or been a part of presentations that we've done before, those are things that you need. You want to have an image that represents your company, that's a logo, so that people know who you are, what you stand for, where to find you. They recognize your materials over someone else's, so that they know it's your brand and not just someone else's brand. And then you also need to, you know, be developing things that actually work for you. So that's kind of what today is about, is how to get ads that actually work for you. And there's a million resources out there we can help you guys get connected with too. So don't hesitate to reach out to me if you're like, hey, I don't know where to start. Reach out to Janelle. I don't know where to start. We'll get you guys connected to some different things as well. So anything else that you want to share that's like critical information? All of it. I know.
I did have a lot on here, but you guys will have all this. The other part of this 15 minutes was print and logo design, but we've kind of touched on that. You need to have something consistent. There's a link in the stuff that they're going to send out that talks about colors, choosing colors, and how different colors say different things about your brand. So that's probably.
Do you have that? Just so you guys kind of have an idea of what it looks like. It is this one.
Yeah.
And it's an article about how to create the right emotions with color and web design. This really, really, really matters.
Yeah, it's like, and this is an awesome website, or an awesome article. So this does talk about web design, but I think it goes across the board for logos, for print design, because it talks about the different, it talks about contrast and implementing different colors. But if you go down a little bit farther, it talks about like the specific colors. So red promotes power, importance, and youth, and so it goes through a list of like about 10 different colors and what they say about your brand.
What's orange?
Orange is fun. Oh, friendliness, energy, and uniqueness.
Perfect.
Did you guys have a different emotion? Just a question, because I did. Did you have a different emotional feeling when you saw the red image and then we scrolled down and saw the orange image?
Red to me is always meant power. It's very like strong, very
Yeah.
bold. Pay attention to me, I can help you.
Yes.
Yeah, the orange kind of just lends a calmer vibe, not quite as powerful, but to me, orange is still powerful too. It's got friendly, energetic.
Yeah. So, I mean, not everybody feels this way, and not everybody looks at colors this way. Sam and I do a lot of design work, and so we spend a lot of time talking about color and fonts, color and fonts, color and fonts. It really, really matters. Okay, so we speak the same language. Color and fonts, they matter. So for me, literally just scrolling through, I had a different emotional response when I went from red to orange. And, you know, just keep thinking of that, like, how does your company, you know, get represented by different colors? What's a color that speaks well about you? You know, if you've never thought about it, now you have one more thing to add to your toolbox as a resource to be thinking about. And we understand everybody's at a different financial point. So if you're like, I just don't even know what to do, this is when you need to call me and we'll set up a one-on-one and we'll start walking through some of those steps. Or you need to call Janelle and she can hook you up with all of the wonderful services. She won't. I see who all your customers are, and one of the things on the 10 was like not breaking the bank and making it really affordable. These guys are business partners and they want to see everyone succeed. So I can vouch for that. That's why you're here. Okay, so we'll make sure everybody gets the resources from this presentation, and thank you. You're going to come back and talk about social media a little bit more. So I would encourage, Janelle's going to be our final presenter on a different topic later on. So if you have more questions about any of this stuff, we're going to get back into speaking with Janelle. So I'm going to invite Melinda to come up. Melinda Jones is with our Rock Falls Tourism Office. And this is a whole different type of marketing that a lot of you guys are not utilizing. And you need to, because Melinda is awesome, and our tourism office is awesome. And who knew we had tourism in Rock Falls? I did. I'm going to pull it. Do you want your document up? Or no? Okay.
It's just for information.
Okay. So I'm going to just put this down. And go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm Melinda. I'm pretty new to Rock Falls Tourism. About a year ago, I got the job as assistant director, and recently had the knowledge to interim director for Rock Falls Tourism. So it's my first time doing a presentation, so bear with me. What is it to market to tourists in Rock Falls? Anybody got any ideas? How do we market to tourists in Rock Falls? Okay, well, tourism presents an amazing opportunity for retail businesses and restaurant owners here in the area. Every business has something that they can offer to tourists in the area, visitors, anybody that's coming here. Whether it's for work or it's for weddings, for a corporate work, weddings, just to drop through and stop and try on the interstate, might come here and get something to eat, and then they go into finding out what Rock Falls has to offer. So remember that a community does not have to be a major destination in order to benefit from tourist dollars. Smaller communities can leverage from their attractions by ensuring that tourist needs are being met. So the other day I spoke to a couple hotel managers and I said, what brings people into staying at our hotels? We always hear, oh, we have all these hotels. What is the reason? We're not tourist stuff here. We're not Disney World. So when speaking to them, they said they get a lot of corporates coming in to stay. Get a lot of people that come in for weddings. The guests are coming in for weddings, even today with COVID.
Yeah, can I add to that? Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just right there. I'm speaking with Amy Jones from Holiday Inn Express on the riverfront. They have run 90% occupancy except for like 2 weeks, even with COVID. Right. So people are coming to our town. Other hotels are having occupancy as well. So, you know, just something to think about.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh. Or they're traveling between Chicago and they need to go wherever, to Missouri, you know, and they're on Interstate 88, so they need to stop by, so they stay here. Whether it's planned, whether it's not, they just drop in. So when they're coming, what are they doing? They're going to eat, they're going to get fuel, they're going to get convenience items. If they have downtime, they're going to go visit what we have to offer in Rock Falls and Sterling. They're going to go downtown to the shops. So you've got to remember that, you know, they're here, they're trying to see what's in Rock Falls. Tourism is not a complete solution to helping our local economies, but certainly a large part of it. And we have to remember that small businesses, no matter where you're located, your business will benefit the community as well. As I said, you know, I've heard people say, well, we don't live in a touristy area. But believe it or not, every place on earth is a tourist area because it offers something that the other place doesn't have. So can you guys think of some things here that we have in Rock Falls? If somebody came up to you and asked you, what can I do in Rock Falls today? What would you tell them?
Well, it's not Rock Falls. I think the Dillon Mall.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't go
Exactly.
But not too far.
Right.
There's a piece of history,
Right,
very important to our
right.
city and our
Right.
history here in this community.
And because that was a steel mill, the steel mill had Pear Shelford and Rock Falls,
Right.
so that's all part of
That's
it.
the thing that I thought
Right.
was my thought there.
Yes,
But we can't tour that, so.
yeah, definitely. Anything else? How about the Hennepin Canal? We have the river. Lots of places don't have rivers going through their town. How about the RB&W Park with the sculptures? A lot of people like to follow art. So there are places to see. We've got beautiful parks. We've got the museum. We've got the Firehouse Museum, the Dillon Home Museum, the Lincoln Mannheim Museum. So there's a lot of things to do in the area. You just got to put your thinking cap on and think, oh, I live here, so it's just common. But think about the person coming in.
Well, like, I think of like Kathy and your place being a destination very close to the hotels. You offer, kind of relaxation, you talked about that before, that's an excellent option. I think about doing a product that's available in our community, and you're coming into the hotels, and maybe they want a natural solution to, like down counters or a hand sanitizer, or whatever it is that they're being, thank you. You're welcome.
Just kind of ways is easily 100 mile radius. Because we've had shows in Chicago, and we've got, our Chicago is a really a major customer base for us. We get Iowa, Wisconsin, and they all drive to Rock Falls to come to our store.
Right.
Because there's no additional quality lifeguards around.
Mm-hmm.
So once they figured out who we are, and it's one of their friends, and they don't always just come to Rock Falls for us, of course, but we bring a lot of people in as well, and that's it's amazing because we're here to get their gas and eat. People can say they claim for the weekend for Rock Falls, so they come to our store. It's like, we see this completely.
Right.
It's like, this is amazing.
Yes, yes.
We had somebody stop in this last week. They were driving through from Iowa, retired couple, looking for something to do. And they stopped into the sign shop that was here. They had a paint kit sign shop in the community building. They were early, and I said, here's 3 things to do with your extra hour. So just, be thinking about positioning your business as an opportunity for that. People need resources, people need services, people need different things. And there's a lot of people that travel all of the time. And maybe there's a resource that you can help provide to them. So, sorry, I interrupted you, but
That's okay.
I saw that moment there. Interesting
Well,
information.
yesterday we had 2 couples come in and they wanted information of what to do in Rock Falls yesterday. And just for the moment, 2 couples, I asked them where they were from. They were from the Chicago suburbs, and they had heard about Rock Falls. And they just wanted to spend the day. So I gave them places to eat. I asked them if they were going to spend the night, but no, they were only here till 5 o'clock, and then they were going to head home. And I had a hard time understanding them. There was a language barrier. And then with the mask, of course, that was hard. But yeah, I told them places to eat, places to go, places to see, and they were like really thrilled that there was so much. So another thing that we want to remember is when retailers have the opportunity to both sell convenience items, specialty items, because when tourists, even just, I travel a lot. I go to different cities, different states, and I love to see different specialties. So different jewelry, different soaps, any of that sort of thing. And to be able to meet the people, like in your case, to be able to meet you, that means a lot. And as you say, it's going to bring them back. So it's going to bring them back to your place, and it's going to bring them back to Rock Falls. So we have to remember that. And then I want to just go over some ways that you can promote your retail business or restaurants to help your business get along. So build your relationships with your hotels, because they're the ones who, when they stay, they're going to say to the front desk person, hey, where should I go to tonight for dinner? So one of the things that a restaurant can do is invite some hotel employees to come to their restaurant, eat a meal there, and then they'll be able to give a first-hand experience to the hotel person that's, visiting. A retail store even. If you make soaps, maybe give some soaps to some of the hotel personnel. And then they can see what it's like, and then they'll say, hey, you know what? I got this item from Chocolate Tree. Go down to Chocolate Tree and see what they've got to offer. So make sure you talk to your hotel employees too. Let's see, where else am Get in touch with your social or with your tourists via social media, as Janelle will talk later. Young travelers, they use social media a lot. So use your hashtags and everything for any of your social media.
And Yelp and TripAdvisor.
Yep, I've got those.
Very
Yep.
important there. I keep going.
That's okay. And remember, if you get a bad review on Yelp, TripAdvisor, Google, whatever you use, make sure to respond to that and take away that negativity. You know, give them a reason to want to come back to your store, not just ignore it. You know, make sure you talk to them and tell them, you know, why it happened, or I'm sorry it happened, or just, you know, talk to them. And then along with that, is there any other ideas that you guys can give?
I was just gonna mention Google too. Be sure that you Google your business. Make sure you have the right address, the right hours, the right information, that the website that's linked to your Google is the correct one. I know on the pizza place in Dixon, that was just absolutely crazy frustrating because their Google website was linked to a place in Kentucky. So people were placing orders, showing up to get the order, it wasn't there. It was a nightmare. And it's not an impossible fix. And you know, you ask Linda, I'm sure she'll help you. I will help you. We will get that correct. But and I like what you said about you know, just managing the negative complaints. If you go through like TripAdvisor and look at hotels, you will see how they manage that. And that is a great learning point. They never engage in negative. We're so sorry this happened. These are the things that we've done to fix it. We'd like to offer you this opportunity to experience this in a different way. And you'll see how that really changes. People go back and change the review after that.
Exactly. Pardon me?
Oh, gosh. We did a lot of pictures, a lot of things on Google, and I post pictures. I post pictures everywhere, but the pictures is what really makes people interact with it as well.
Right.
Pictures of Google is critical. Yeah, absolutely. Good point.
So another thing that you should think about is the presence of your building. So your restaurant, your retail, whatever you have, it's your decision on your building architecture, your colors, your exterior materials, the whole presentation of it. So you want to make sure that that has a positive impact on visitors coming into the city, because they're going to go home and tell somebody about that. They're going to tell them what our downtown looks like or what the outskirts of it looks like. So first impressions are very critical. So make sure your place is, you know, spiffed up and looks nice inside and out. And then on that aspect, I want to make sure that you're aware that Rock Falls Tourism offers a facade grant. So I'm not sure if anybody knows that. A facade grant.
Tell us all about that.
Yeah. So we offer this to any businesses in Rock Falls. And what it is, it's a grant, and it's a 50-50 matching grant. So you will go and get the work done, get your estimate, get your work done, and then if it's approved by our building code person, then you will get 50% of that back, and or for the project cost of $5,000. So if you spend $10,000, we'll give you $5,000. $5,000 is the max. But it's a great way to paint the exterior of the building, anything, put new windows in, all that. It's very, very important.
I mean, it's a big deal. You think about cutting that cost in half, that's huge.
Yeah.
And we still have funds available for
Right.
that right now.
Right. Yep. And then just remember, they cannot be used for any project that has already been started, because you have to go through the whole process first, or anything that's already been completed. So just make sure you know that. So what is tourism? What is my office, tourism office? What do we have to offer to businesses? So we can share your Facebook postings, and actually we do. I may not have everybody's on the Facebook, but if I see something that's interesting, I share it on the Visit Rock Falls Facebook page. That is good because we have, I think the last count I had was 4,700 people on our Facebook page. So that's 4,700 people that could see your ad that I may have put out. And then if I don't have it and you want something on there, just call me or text me, email, just whatever, and let me know, hey, we have some special going on. Will you put that on? We'll do it for you. Another one is our visitor's guide. And I have some in the back for everybody if they'd like some. And this we just put out this spring. This is a 2-year shelf life. We have ads in there. Everybody had to put an ad, or I mean, purchase an ad Star Media actually did these for us. And they're awesome. They've got everything from things to do, hotels, places to eat, things to see, farmers markets. I mean, it's a load of information in here. And so when we do this again, and we, you know, Janelle or whoever calls you and says, hey, you want to put an ad in? Think about where this is going. It's not just staying in Rock Falls. We've got these in Springfield, we've got them in Chicago, we've got them at travel centers, Peoria, Bloomington. They're all around. And actually, last count, I've given over 2,000 of these out just in the last couple months. So these are a good way to get your name out. And if you want any of these in your store, just let me know and I'll bring some in. So. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Advertising that is so cheap because it goes so many places that this time was a 2 year online. It's easy and cheap.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
take advantage of that.
And the nice thing too, the size. You can just pick them up, stick them in your purse and go. You know, they're not just this big 8x10 flyer. So that's another thing. Our last thing that tourism can do for you, we can do numerous things for you, but our biggest thing is to become a tourism sponsor. So every year in October, November, I send out sponsor letters to all businesses, restaurants, factories, anything, and to see if they're interested in being a sponsor. Why do you want to be a tourism sponsor? Because we hold a lot of events, and then your name will be advertised in all those events, any publications that we do. It depends on the level of sponsorship that you take. So we've got it anywhere from the big one of the diamond for $5,000 that you would donate, or all the way down to emerald, which is only $100. So it all depends on what amount that you go with as far as the publicity that we give, that we put out. And then I also want to reiterate that our sponsorship is not per event, it's per year. So that's a big thing to remember. So you donate, you know, $200, well then your sponsor, your name is going to go on Food Truck Fridays banners for the whole food truck season. So, and then we can promote your business on our Visit Rock Falls website too. We have a list of businesses on there, and what I do is I take a link from your Facebook page or your website, and so when they click on your name on our website, it'll take it right to yours, so they can see all that. So just get involved with Rock Falls Tourism, that's the main thing, and you know, we can help you out and get your names out. If you're interested in events, we have Food Truck Fridays that happen every summer, June, July, and August. We have the Art in the Park Sculpture Walk where we get the new sculptures coming in. We got the big cat fishing tournament. That brings in boaters from all over the area. 2021, we're going to do a lumberjack show, and that's going to be held at Stoney's. We were supposed to have it this year, but it was canceled.
I was so excited and disappointed when that came through.
I know.
I just thought, oh,
Yes. Yeah, and a beer contest, exactly. Yeah, I know. We were really disappointed. So, fingers crossed. Yeah. And we have Jamming on the Rock that we just did. We just introduced it on September 17th. It was a great, great show. I don't know if anybody came. Did they come? So we had 4 musicians, local musicians. They played for like 17 minutes. And we had a couple food trucks. It went very, very well. We had another one scheduled for October 1st, but due to COVID, we had to cancel. So that is coming back. So basically, I just want you to just think of a few things before I go. Remember that we want to make visitors come back. So that's the main thing. So retail, restaurant, whatever. We want people to come back. We want their extended visitor stay. So we want them to maybe not come back for a day, maybe next time they'll come back for 2 days. Positive social media exposure. Remember, that's always very important. Keep your social media up to date. Online or offline word of mouth. So tell everybody how great things are in Rock Falls. Let them know, tell them what they can go do, what they can go see, who to go have dinner with, just word of mouth is a big thing. And also remember that the economic benefit is a big thing. So, I mean, it helps all of us. So to get people to come here helps our economic growth here. So no matter what your business is, just go with it and show everybody what you got. So.
And I love that. Thank you, Linda. I love that tourism, 90% of what Melinda shared today were things that you can do for free. So, you know, she'll share stuff on your Facebook, she'll get it on the website, and she'll help get the word out to the community. But, you know, I want you to think about tourism in two ways too, and that is local tourism. That's anyone that doesn't live in Rock Falls or Sterling directly, essentially. So maybe they're coming from Morrison, they come to Jammin' on the Rock, they see your booth at that event next year, we'll be able to maybe do that. And then they say, oh, I want to buy that in the future. And that person is what we call like a local tourist, somebody that's coming from a shorter distance. And we have the further tourists that are coming from like Chicago and Iowa and other areas, and both of them are here. And we have the traveler that's doing work here as well. And there's lots of different categories of tourists. So don't just think of, well, I don't know, someone from New York might want to know about my product. Like you said when you started, everyone can benefit from people coming into our community and learning about what we have to offer here. And hopefully coming back, calling them the wanting to stay here forever. That's kind of what tourism is. So, thank you, Melinda. Appreciate it. Anyone have questions for Melinda? Thank you. Follow-up questions? I gave out her card, and online we'll get you contact information. I know that one of the people that's on our virtual program is a church, and I think that you guys actually would be an excellent candidate for utilizing tourism and getting connected with Melinda for people who are traveling and maybe want to go to church on Sunday. You'd be a great resource to, you know, be available to them as well. So I'm going to move forward, and Lisa is going to speak to us about radio. And I'm going to tell you that there's been a lot of changes in radio over the years, and this is an excellent resource, and I'm excited for her to share all of her information. So this is going to be pretty cool. So
I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. And yes, I haven't really spoken in front of a lot of people either, so.
is this the correct one?
Let's see. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So I'm Lisa, and I'm with Energy Media, and I represent WIXN 1460 AM, and that's a talk line with Steve Marco and then Adult Contemporary. And also WSEY, that's 95.7, which offers kind of like yesterday's hits and today's favorites, as well as River Country, which has a country format. And yeah, so anyway, it's a great, it's a fun place to work, and you know, it's a great product. So why radio? Why digital? You know, radio has really evolved in the fact that, you know, you can listen to it now in so many different ways. So you can turn the next slide. You know, we provide access to an audience across multiple platforms. Oops, I guess I skipped the page.
We'll back up.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. See, we're all friends. We're all family. You tell me where to go. We'll figure it out. Okay,
well,
so
anyway, consumers spend time across a lot of different medias, and the majority of the advertisers both buy both traditional and digital media. Traditional and digital advertisers give you both a 1-2 punch. So, you know, we provide access across many mediums and platforms, and so the broadcasting of the radio, and then streaming and online video, smart speakers like Alexa in our home now, as well as station apps like River Country and those types of things, station websites and event marketing and third-party apps. So,
and you have a great Facebook.
And we have a great Facebook. And there's just a lot of ways to access, you know, us in today's world. So the evolution of audio is, look where we came from, the jukebox, and then, you know, the car stereo, and then the boombox, and then the Walkman, and the computer, and, you know, our iPhones, and then now Alexa. So we've come a long way since, gosh, like 2015, 16, when, you know, it was just, you know, radio. So anyway, so this is kind of redundant, but, you know, we have radio, like broadcast, computers, You can find this on mobile phones, tablets, apps, and smart speakers. So there's a lot of different ways, people, during work, how they access the radio. So it really gives a way bigger reach than what we had before. And with COVID, we kind of have an audience that's, more stationary, and they listen more, and what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, they're looking for news too.
Yeah,
And they want
right.
local news. So that's actually one of the things that, this is kind of something I'll add to it. That's really weird, but maybe you guys could add it for perspective. My 8-year-old, when we ask her, what do you want to listen to in the car? She picks talk radio every time. Yeah, and that's kind of weird. Okay, I would say that's not normal, but there are a lot of all generations who are still listening to radio. They're still listening to talk radio because of the news element. So whether they're catching it online, on their phone, through the smart speaker, or in the car, it's very relevant still. And then, the follow-up with Facebook that you guys have to get information out, and your websites and things like that too. So it is multifaceted.
Yes, definitely so. And the monthly online audio listening, 12 years and plus, it's listened to the online audio in the last month is 192 million. So, I mean, that's like a huge number of listeners from, all the different types of, audio. So, and research shows that 27 to 41 of the US consumers now own a smart speaker. So whether it's, desktop, laptop server, mobile device, smart speaker, digital media player, or, whatever, there's just different ways to access us. So streaming is your radio station, just put it on a different device. So still very relevant.
Sorry, I'm working.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
About streaming, like adding streaming on like the Alexa or whatever. I noticed a lot of times different stations that we're listening to online, whether it's on like a radio or whatever. Sometimes when the ads are playing, we're not hearing either we're not hearing the same ad, or they're just playing like bumper music in between. Do you know if that happens across the board, or is that like if I advertise on your station and someone's listening out, are they going to hear?
Yes, they would hear you. Whatever streaming, whatever comes on the radio is also going to be streamed as well.
Okay. So it must just be different stations.
Yeah, I think it must be, yeah. Well, there's 3 things that make a good media campaign work, and it's the right message, as well as airing in the right places.
Sorry, I'm having
That's
technical
okay.
difficulties, but we're making it work. Okay, hang on a second. You keep talking and I'm gonna fix this.
And
How about
just
that?
at the right time. So basically, why radio? It's still very effective, and the radio is the leading reach platform according to Nielsen Audio Radio. It's 93% of adults listen to radio weekly, made possible through not only traditional methods, but like through Sirius, digital streaming platforms, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, and something like our River Country app. So radio's carved out its own niche, offering unique forms of entertainment through both digital, traditional channels, and to survive, radio audio content. To survive, radio audio content has expanded to offer exclusive shows like podcasts, network series, customized stations through digital streaming, and it's positioned radio to retain its popularity, offering entertainment that's different from video content. So radio advertising provides several benefits to your brand. The ability to target your audience, the ability to stand out, the ability to offer more frequent ads, and the ability to stir emotions and create demands. So to make a good ad, or the message, you should try to, when making an ad, you should try to identify a problem. Like, so for example, if you were going to have a gym membership, you might want to say, or you don't want to go to the gym, stop wasting money on a gym membership that you'll never use. Get activated with an affordable in-home stair climber instead. In 2 sentences, a problem is presented and solved, which is your product and service is presented as the answer.
And I'm going to jump in there and say this is relevant to every single ad that you do. The most effective ads that the chamber puts out presents a problem and a solution in 2 sentences. Those are always our top response, whether they're on Facebook, email, printed, radio, wherever it goes. So I would say this is applicable to everything.
Absolutely, yeah. And then you want to create an urgency. For example, reserve a seat now, book your appointment now, set a deadline in your ad copy, limited quantities, limited time offer, those types of things, while supplies last. Provide a call to action, like business now, see our website, those types of things. And clearly state your next step, which, such as your location, your what store to visit, the website to go to, or what phone number to call. So also, the radio station is also really important, and it depends on your demographics, your target market, what you're selling. So like, for example, if you would be wanting to appeal to men ages of 18 to 30, you might want to be on a sports channel or a rock station, or river country or a country station. Yeah. So really you're buying the audience. So that's really important across all markets. So your programming is important, as well as the style of the announcers. That's important as well. So the format determines the audience and the station appeals to, and the audience it delivers to advertisers. So some of the most common descriptions are country, top 40, adult contemporary, classic rock news, and talk radio.
I like classic rock news, though. We can make that.
I know, right?
Eddie Van Halen is like classic rock news right now.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. So the best times to advertise is typically from 6A to 10A. That's when listeners are, I think, probably the perkiest and most aware and receptive to, what you're trying to sell. And midday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Has fewer listeners, but the listeners are loyal. So you might have second shifters, or, those type of people that, always tune into the radio, or,
People who listen at work?
Yes, people who listen at work as well, yeah. But you build your awareness quickly with those type of people. The PM drive times, 3 to 7 p.m. will have almost as big an audience as the morning drive. These people may be in the mood for buying more so than the ones rushing to work in the morning. And the evening day part lasts from 7 p.m. to midnight, and the late night from midnight to 6 a.m. Those times are obviously, fewer, but, the people who work overnight, they're loyal listeners. So these listeners make a conscious decision to listen to the radio rather than watch TV. With the right creative approach, the right match of station and format and product, the evening hours can lend themselves to breakthrough advertising. If evening gives you access to the right market, it's the best, it could be your best time to buy. So the length of the commercials are 30 to 60 seconds long. Maybe advertisers that maybe have established a reputation, they can get their message down within 30 seconds. But really, the most important thing is to be consistent with your message and your branding across all mediums.
I think of Knees.
Yeah.
Who can think of a Knees ad and the voice on the Knees ad? Maybe that's for some of us that have been around a little while. I'm sorry. I thought of the Knees ad, you know, Knees Furniture. I can think of that every single time. It doesn't matter where I hear it. I think of Knees and I think of their product. It
Right.
goes together. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the frequency, the more you can repeat it, repeat, you know, the more you can, you know, get it out there is, you know, is the best thing to do. So, you know, typically, you know, 20 ads per week is good, you know, 4 times per day. You know, just keep repeating your message, and 3, 6, or 12 months is really probably the most important thing. You need consistency, the time frame, as well as, you know, give it enough time to work as well. So.
I just wanted to kind of share a testimony, if that's okay,
Sure.
of a local business. They sell RVs. I'm not going to name them, but I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. And that business, when the economy crashed really hard around here, bad, they increased their business almost double that year.
Yes.
And I remember at that time I said, what are you doing? What's working? And they said, we just decided to try radio ads. I can say the same thing about a restaurant. They said I had $1,000 left. I put it into radio ads and it saved my business. So I brought this here because I know some people will say, well, I don't know if radio works. I don't know if newspaper works. I don't know if these things work. And, you know, I have members that are telling me that it does. And I believe in the product, and, you know, obviously you're a member as well, so I want to support you in that. But I think it is a creative resource. I know you guys have a lot of different promotions and opportunities, and I've seen in radio, especially since COVID has hit, that the radio stations are wanting to work with local businesses and help you guys get out there. So it helps with the financial part as well.
Absolutely.
Guys, I don't want to speak for you on that.
But it's good.
I've seen that.
I mean, yes, it's true. I mean, we've also used Facebook as well, our website, you know, for virtual stuff. So, I mean, yes, and we also have a new product called Meal Fill, which, you know, there's no, right away, you don't have to put out a whole bunch of cash, but you can definitely get a great message out there, and it's very effective. So.
Yeah, I think that you guys have a lot of great resources.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. And the one thing I'll say about radio too is it hits local people. When I want local news, I'm checking on Facebook to see local news sources. And I know I'm a local person that's really connected to news and information because of my job, but I think a lot of us are just personally interested in that. So, you know, don't forget about that as a resource. You guys are excellent at receiving press releases. Like you said, Steve Marco is excellent.
Has a great show in the morning. If you want to know about any community events or any, you know, updated COVID information or anything going on politically, he's got a really great show, offers really a lot.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody has follow-up questions about radio in general,
yes,
you can talk to Lisa. Get a hold of me.
I was too nervous to just wing it, so I apologize.
Nope, I planned for it. We're good. Anybody have questions for Lisa? Anyone have questions for Lisa? Oh, yeah, Sarah. So for everyone online, Sarah asked, how much does a typical 30 to 60-second ad cost?
Well, typically, it really kind of depends on the day part in which you want to advertise. If you're a new advertiser, we'll give you a break, you know, so it can run anywhere from $12 to $18, you know, for 30-second ad. But we run specials all the time. Like right now, we've got a promo going on right now. It's called Fall Winter Take All. So basically, you're on all 3 stations. It kind of gives you a taste of all 3. And basically, we're going to have 10 qualifiers, and then at the end of the promo, one person is going to walk away with $8,000 worth of prizes. So there's, you know, there's the advertising. We're doing stuff on Facebook. We have our website, as well as getting something, the radio piece of it, as well as we're doing drop-ins, and then also a logo and a description on the website. So that's a great value.
And I think I've heard that that's essentially like KSB donated like a jacket.
Yes.
We talked about the jacket. You could, as a listener, enter to win the jacket. Right. And so it kind of focused on the company as being a sponsor of that product, and
Yes.
it had a lot of repeated advertising. The other thing too to kind of think about, I know you guys pick up on like football or special events, football, obviously
Yes.
not right now, but there'll be special events, and I actually have one to talk to you about. So
Yes,
we'll-
basketball, football, school concerts, political stuff, we're gonna be airing, airing that, and the sponsors for that. What else? Anything with fall events, that sort of thing. So, and Linda, I do want to talk with you because, to get your message out, I could set you up with Steve Marco, and you can, call in or come in and visit and have, a direct conversation with them, and we can get your message out for you. So, that would be something that would be really helpful, so I'm sure.
And I will be happy to, if anybody has any other follow-up questions about, radio in general, I can help connect you with Lisa and just the general radio market in our community as well. So there's a lot of great opportunities there. The one thing that I always say is if you don't spend any money on advertising, it's not going to take you long to be out of business. And it's hard because I know right now it's tough. On the chamber side of things, we're going to connect you guys to as many free resources as possible. So don't hesitate to reach out to me and say, I'm tight on cash. How do I get to this goal? That's what the chamber is really going to help fill that gap for you and help you get to that point as to what is available for free as well. So our next speaker was going to be Jennifer Heitzelman, but she is not able to attend today. She had a wonderful opportunity. Her daughter made it to regionals, and she said, I got to be there. And we always put family first, so I said, you got to go. So I thought I would share a couple things kind of quickly. It overlaps a little bit with what Lisa said about what I know about newspaper advertising. Newspaper advertising is a specific demographic. And before this program, I was talking with Sam a little bit. We had a press release that was given to the newspaper. They ran it for us, and I was shocked by the number of phone calls we had. It was about our Burgers for Community fundraiser. We got calls off of that and direct sales related off of our newspaper ads. So our newspaper plays a role in our community. Again, local news right now, people are really looking for local news. So whether it's radio or newspaper or Facebook, they're looking for trusted news sources to get information from. So don't rule that out. It also, our newspaper provides, information on their website. They have a Facebook as well. I mean, how many people of you guys have seen an article from Sauk Valley Media on Facebook and you clicked it? And that's, everyone, for the most part. So that definitely is an opportunity. They do sell ads that will look almost like a newspaper article. Like I've seen the YMCA purchase an ad that will look like a newspaper article on Facebook. And so that is an option that they offer, as well as just the regular printed ads as well. Typically, there's just different groups that respond to the different various types of advertising that they have. If I have older people who are volunteers and we have an event, I will guarantee you every single time, if I did not have that event in the newspaper, they'll say, well, we didn't know the event was happening because we didn't see it in the newspaper. So there is a specific demographic that is trusting the newspaper every single time for their information. So that's what I can say for Jen, with Jen not being here. And I can help you kind of connect with that more. I know we do have another newspaper that has been running in our area, the direct mail, Sauk Valley Sun, and that's been kind of on hold for a while. A similar form of advertising are some of the magazines and type things that Sauk Valley Media does send out to your mailbox. They have like a business journal and things like that. Those are options for advertising as well through Sauk Valley Media. But I'm gonna pass it back to Janelle, who's gonna hit us up with all things social. And this is typically where we have a lot of questions, but I'm gonna encourage you guys basically to ask Janelle any kind of questions that you have, because she's covering a lot of topics and kind of quickly. So don't hesitate to say, hey, I have this question, or tell me more about this, or I saw this thing, what do you think? Janelle, do you need any resources pulled up for you?
No.
Okay.
I
I just wanted to, I know on the agenda you kind of said about how to schedule an ad.
Yeah.
But I told Bethany and Sam yesterday, the difficult thing about telling you guys how to do something on social media is that it changes all the time.
Oh my gosh.
So
like 5 minutes.
Exactly. So like I tell all of our clients, like, I'm going to tell you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to do this thing, but I'm just going to warn you that tomorrow it's probably going to change. And I'm not lying about that. It literally happens all the time.
And Facebook's in the middle of this massive change
Yes,
right
exactly.
now, where features are dropping off, and coming back different.
Right,
It's
right.
just a
So
huge change.
plus I'm an Android user. You guys might have an iPhone, so it's going to look different on your devices. Because they've changed things, there's a new Facebook and an old Facebook. I don't know what your Facebook looks like, so I don't want to tell you exactly how to do anything.
I have both different
Do you?
businesses, different. One is not converted, one has. So that's interesting. And I will actually even just jump in and ask, how many of you guys have a business Facebook right now that you're using? So good.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay. So I just had a few tips to go through for social media, and then we can talk about this, or if you don't mind, we can jump back to websites if there's still time. So
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things with social media is to test different times and days for posting to see how it works and what kind of response you get for different things. I know for a while, we do a lot of the posting for Woodlawn Arts Academy, and for them, it seemed, when people were going to school in person, it seemed like the best times to post for them were 9 o'clock in the morning, because people were just getting to work after they had dropped off their kids at school. Noon was a great time because people are going to lunch, and then 3 o'clock because they're waiting for their kids to pick them up at school. That's changed a little bit with them, and that works well for them. We have other clients that 12:05 p.m. for some reason, like not exactly noon, but 12:05 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they would get the most engagement. So I would encourage you to just post things at different times, see what kind of response that you get from those things. And it also depends if you're posting on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or any other of the hundreds of social media platforms that are out there. They're so different. So. I would encourage you to post consistently, and I think Lisa kind of mentioned this in hers too, do several radio ads. So do the same thing with your social media. Post at least once a week at a minimum. Because if you wait weeks, as I talked about before, people think that you're not in business anymore. And I'm just as guilty of it as anyone else. I went months while we were trying to move into our building without ever posting anything, and all of a sudden I had 6 months worth of portfolio posts to make. So just stay consistent in your posting so that people don't forget about you. Yeah, absolutely.
So where the consistency is concerned, like at a minimum once a week, is once a day too often, is twice a day too often. You don't want to flood their feed,
Right.
you just going there like no thanks,
Right.
but you don't want to work on the opposite of it.
Yeah, so I think once a day is probably about maximum that you should do. If you're posting a lot of things in a row, I know sometimes for different organizations, we'll schedule, we'll post a bunch of events all at the same time, but if studies show that about 45 minutes in between posts is the least amount of time that you should waste, because you don't want to be constantly posting because your stuff will get hidden. So, but yeah, once a day is good.
And I will kind of just talk about scheduling. So for the chamber, when we create an event, we create a marketing plan for that event essentially, and we will often schedule all of the folks for that event at one time. We found that works really well. We can think about the message. Now I can change it partway through. We're doing the garage sale. For some reason, we're just not getting registration. We can change the messaging up and pull a post out and say we're not going to run that one. We're going to switch that. So we do that a lot. Actually, I can look at our Facebook right now, and I know if there's stuff that's scheduled through this month and into next month.
Right.
And the nice thing about scheduling is you can look at all of the times that you have stuff posted, and you can decide, I got too many things that day. Or for us, a lot of times, we'll post in the morning, and we might have a totally different topic in the afternoon. We usually wouldn't post about the same event twice.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to talk about scheduling too, so that's a good thing. That's okay. No, that's a good thing to bring up. But yeah, with Facebook, it's called creator computer studio now, I think. They might have changed that again too.
Educated, it's okay.
So in order to schedule out your posts, that's a great tool to have because you don't have to, every time you want, like if you want to post something at noon, you don't have to be sitting at your desk or at your phone to be able to post that thing at noon. You can sit down, you know, once a week and schedule out all your posts, or like you guys said, you know, once a month, you sit down and you just schedule out all your posts, and then it just does it for you at the time that you set to post it. So, so that's a great tool to have. There are some scheduling apps out there. We've used Hootsuite for a long time, and so that allows us to post onto all of our different social medias at the same time. So I can create a post and I can put it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest. So it all posts exactly the same thing at the same time. The only thing that you have to keep in mind about those is sometimes Facebook's algorithms, and I'm going to try not to get too technical, but sometimes what they'll do is they'll say, well, this wasn't actually posted by a person. And so they will not necessarily hide the post, but they make it more difficult for people to see if you're posting from those scheduling apps. So just be aware of that happening.
I find it interesting that Facebook changes things all the time. Because at the end of the day, people are still engaging in the platform. Why are they consistently always looking to make change or take things away from us?
Right.
We're still on the platform, guys.
Actively serves creative studios.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
It's gotten worse with the change. A lot of things went. One thing that came back to us that had been gone, and this just happened for us, like I said, I have two different business accounts going in, and more than that. But anyway, the two of them was after this. The one brought back the ability for us to post a post to Instagram. So that was really great. So it helped us, but what I found out was that it only posts that post when you click it. You can't schedule it.
Right.
And it's only after a post is posted. So I posted the post, I could go back through and be like, I want to post this to Instagram. Which for us, the way we manage our Instagram is more like we just want to have some content on there so people see that it is not an engagement tool for us, where Facebook is 100% engagement.
Yeah, and I've noticed that a lot too with Instagram. It's just to get pictures out there, just, you know, see what's going on and know that you are engaged in something, but people are not responding as much. They might double click to, or double tap to like that photo on Instagram, but you're not going to get a ton of comments on it. Twitter is another thing that it's like, people really aren't following local businesses that much. People are following Twitter for news, like Bethany was talking about earlier. They're following Trump to see what he says next. I'm not trying to get into politics, but but people are following Twitter for other reasons than following local businesses. So we're not seeing as much engagement with our clients on Twitter or on Instagram as what we are on Facebook. It's still the best place to be.
Instagram though is just so tricky to get followers. I mean, I've got my Facebook page has over 600 people following. You're right, that's where they engage, that's where they share, that's where they communicate and work with their orders. Instagram is pretty.
Right, exactly.
Instagram is my opportunity to be like, just don't click it and follow me.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
and Facebook is where it's at.
Yeah, exactly.
So, thankfully.
Right, and you have to also take into consideration the different age demographics that are using the different social medias. For, you know, I mean, almost everyone across the board, it doesn't matter what age they are, it doesn't matter what you hear about it, everyone's on Facebook, even kids are on Facebook. But then if you're looking at like Instagram, I have some numbers here. I'm jumping around too much.
That's my fault, actually. People
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, and actually YouTube too is, you know, you don't always think of YouTube as social media, but it is. And so Facebook and YouTube are right up there at the top among all age groups. Instagram becomes more apparent age 49 and younger. And especially like that 18 to 24 age group is on Instagram. Pinterest and LinkedIn are more like young business people, so 25 to 49 is where you're seeing Pinterest and LinkedIn. Snapchat is under 29. TikTok is even younger, 16 to 24. And I have noticed that there is a TikTok for business. I'm not sure, have you seen anything else about that? I'm not sure where that's going to go with the whole, you know, trying to sell TikTok thing, but, and I'm not sure whether it really applies to a lot of people, but.
As a person who's tried, it's not going well. Just because.
For TikTok for business?
Yeah, just because I've seen so many people using it, it was something I definitely explored and tried to use that for the chamber and make it a little more fun and try to use hours. It's okay. I don't put a lot of time into it.
Right. Well, and I think with that age group too, that 16 to 24 age group, that's not really where your demographic is, you know. So, I don't know. Restaurants maybe it would be good for, because obviously they're going to need to market to that age group. But, and then of course Twitter, like I said, is much less for all age groups, for local businesses. So. Another tip is to always make sure that you're linking back and forth between your social media and your website, so that people can get, you know, back and forth between those two things. And Melinda was talking about reviews too, and that was another point that I wanted to make. So always, always, always respond to your reviews. If they're good reviews, say thank you to them for supporting your business. If they're bad reviews, definitely respond to them. I know you don't want to, because you're like, oh my gosh, they're saying horrible things about me, but respond and let them know that you understand their concerns and you want to make the situation better for them. Another thing that I've seen, and I don't think he would mind me telling you, but Matt Prescott from Candlelight, one of the things that he does is if someone starts saying bad things publicly about the restaurant, he tries to encourage them to take it into a private message, and then on those private messages, he responds to them with his name and his cell phone number. So they know it's not just, some person in the restaurant or, some agency that's working for them responding to messages. They know it's him, and they could call or text him at any time to take care of the matter. So I think that's really important to make sure that they know that you're responding. Let's see. Get personal. This is something I said earlier about your About Us page on your website. People want to know about you, and that creates a lot of engagement. I noticed, Sarah, you had posted a picture of yourself, and that I'm sure that got a ton of engagement.
It was crazy.
Over product pictures, right? You want them to see your product, but they want to see you.
Me. Yeah.
And we kind of had the same situation. My birthday was a few weeks ago. I don't even know what it was. My birthday was in August, and Nathan had posted a picture of me on our Facebook page, and hundreds of people saw that. And we don't get anywhere near that engagement when we post our portfolio, which is what we want people to, we want people to look at what we're doing. And then when he started working for the business full time, I posted a picture of him sitting at his computer. It wasn't even like a particularly great picture. But yeah, there's tons and tons of engagement on those because people want to see what you're doing, they want to see, more personal things. So,
And if I may,
yeah, absolutely.
Some of that too is COVID, because of the stringent rules in place, we're all stuck, not socializing with one another. So
Yeah.
I think that personal touch up is hey guys, it's me again, day hunt, takes 6,000 to
Right. Yeah.
On the other end of that phone, you know what I mean? They're communicating with you and not communicating.
Right, exactly. And to that point too, they want to know, what are you doing for your employees? What are you doing for the community right now? Just even a funny thing, just a fun, if you work in a small office, tell people when someone's birthday in the office or someone's working anniversary, or, if something hilarious happened. This isn't really funny at all. I thought it was at the time, but I was right in web design. We have what's called hex colors, and so it's codes for all the different colors. And it's a 6-digit code. And I was working on a website for a company called Harvest Bakery in Erie, and they wanted blues on their website. So I had just jotted down on a notepad, you know, just the different hex codes. And so it's all these letters and numbers. No one will be able to make any sense of it. And I made myself a note that said Harvest Bakery Blues next to it so that I would remember what I had written down those hex codes for. And I just found it amusing, and I thought, well, if Johnny Cash was was doing website design, it would be the Harvest Bakery Blues. So I took a picture of that and posted it, and it didn't get a ton of engagement because it wasn't like a picture of our faces and stuff, but one of my team members started rewriting the lyrics to Folsom Prison Blues on that. So that did get some engagement too. So it's just like kind of funny things that are happening. We have a couple clients, like someone will bring in treats for the office, and so they'll just take a picture of themselves enjoying the treats and post that. So there's lots of different fun things that you can do with your social media. It doesn't have to be just like strictly for business.
I think the fun is really important.
Yeah.
And we found for us, like there's COVID brain right now, so I have found that hopping on a live video is so helpful. And the cool thing about, and maybe you're talking about this, the live videos, you don't have to be perfect. Everybody gets nervous to have to be perfect. The live videos are not meant to be perfect. They're meant to have it's meant to have the wind blow your hair and you know, fix it or whatever. It's okay. But keeping that positive, active energy in those videos really helps people to engage with whatever it is you're going to say. And those have been so effective for us.
Right. And I wasn't going to talk about it, but that brings up another good point. Some of Nathan and I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and some of my favorite YouTubers are the ones that are sitting in their car waiting for their kids to get out of school, and they go live from their car. And they're just, usually for us, it's watching a news or political thing, but those are some of my favorite videos to watch because it's so relaxed. I loved when, I don't think he's there anymore, but he used to do your 1 sock minute video. And so he would just go live, and he always just had his phone on his desk and would just say like, hey, here's what's coming out in the newspaper today. And it was just like a quick little thing, and it was not produced at all. It was a terrible angle, but but it was just a quick little thing, and he just went live with it every day. And so that was, yeah, it's not produced, it's not perfect, and that's fine. So
the more fun you have, the more people are excited to be perfect. Like, people know that you're not perfect, you're not perfect.
Yeah, and the other thing is if you go live, and another kind of cool thing to do, and I don't go live very often because I don't want to be standing here right now giving this presentation, but if you are going to go live, interact with the people that are on. So say, oh, hey Sarah, see that you're watching today or whatever. Interact with them because it sounds kind of silly, but they like to hear their name mentioned. And yeah, exactly. Right.
You know, our church does a live service every Sunday, and if I can, I put it there, and they kind of comment and go, like, to try to interact. So people will say good morning, and we try to keep that interaction going that way because it helps them connect to the church service.
Right.
In a different way than just posting that video. You can post that video and watch it anytime. You don't have to watch it and watch live with us. But when we do, it builds relationships.
Right. Exactly. Kind of the final point that I wanted to make about social media is when you should pay for your posts and when you shouldn't. So one thing that I just kind of kept in mind is when do you want your post to actually be seen? And so this is another thing, especially with Facebook, that with all the changes that they've made and all the algorithms that are going on behind the scenes to, whether they're going to show you something, Facebook has this line that we're forever free, and it's not true. So they're free for the user for sure, but they don't want it to be free for you guys as business owners because they have to make money somehow. So it is a very effective form of advertising, and it's cheap, and you can target your ad exactly to who you want to see that ad. It's a minimum spend of $1 a day. So, if you only have $30 to spend, you can put your ad up for a month. The more you spend, obviously, the more people are going to see that ad. But if you really want something to be seen, definitely pay for that ad.
I've done that and I have liked it. I'm very selective about when I'm going to do that.
Right.
Specifically if I'm launching new products, because my products are listed on the page, but that doesn't mean that I want people to hear about it to see it. That's what I'm going to do. So usually what I'll do is that $5 for
Yep.
5 days, or
Yeah.
something like that. Or something kind of, but I do target my audience. I don't want it to just be, you know, I don't want it to be pigeonholed. So I'll go as far as to have one illustrated, hello, or something. Because right now I'm not really establishing something in this community.
Right.
But the end game goal is to show it across the United States.
Right.
So, you know, right now I'm focusing in New York.
Yeah, and so when you expand that, you're going to want to obviously spend more, because the more money, like I said, the more money that you put towards that, the more it's going to be seen or be shown to
It
people.
does work. It doesn't necessarily work so much from an engagement standpoint, but you do see, okay, this post reached 720.
Right. And it's the name recognition.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We have, for ours, I usually never spend more than $15 on an ad, and they usually run whole week, and it's designed for events. So like, for example, for the garage sale, for my own, we could add, we wanted to get out to promote the map being available for registration. We might put $15 on that to run 5 to 7 days. My market is 10 miles within Rock Falls, for people over the age of 19.
Yep.
So, you know, that adding in works great for us. We see engagement on ours, because it's an event.
Right.
So people will like it, join the event, share it, that sort of thing. And you can design your ad to target different types of activities, whether it's engagement, which means people interacting with your post, or it's messages where they send you a message, or just impressions to get your post out in front of people. And we tend to focus more towards impression based. I want my information to be in front of so many people that no one did not know about the garage sale. Everyone knows about the garage sale, that's our net.
What I find with ours is that we also need to use demographics, so like, if, you know, you're doing, so we're a person who purchases a gift, so we don't want to necessarily advertise on anything about the advertise, like, I'll advertise to like natural healing, meditation, or yoga, or those kinds of people, because those are the people that have the same interest as you, right? Rather than somebody who's not interested in the natural healing or the crystals or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's, it focuses more of my money towards the rural area that I need it to be. The community, rather than somebody that's not interested, I'm just wasting my.
Yeah, community in a different sense, not local community, it's a community of followers.
I mean, generally,
More holistic direction.
Generally, no one doesn't know 50 miles, and that might be for our doesn't crazy bigger, but I always use the 50 miles a weekend. And when I get new products in, because I do this so often every week, I post some new products, and everybody's always excited about our new products. So it is, I post them all. Like, if I get products in 2 or 3 times a week, I'll be like, oh, this is our new stuff, and then you create that buzz, and people like come and buy it, see it, and then buy it.
Right.
That's how I do it.
Yeah. It's good. So this is another situation where it's different for everybody, because you know, obviously want to market to that kind of niche that you're focusing on, where like heating and cooling, obviously, you know, you just want to do your surface area, because anyone would need your services. So. Yeah. That's what I got.
Okay, I have a really great question for Janelle. Website, print ad, social media. There.
What kind of balance would you want to have on social media account between like straight advertisements and like the fun engagement posts?
Yeah, I think it really just depends on the business. What you're gonna see, sorry, I had to think about my answer real quick. What you're gonna see is what gets more engagement. So if you're doing only the fun stuff, you're probably not gonna get a whole lot of new business, you know, and that's obviously what you want. The reason that we're here today is to talk about marketing your business. Where if you're doing all of the business posts, you're not gonna have much engagement at all. So you just kind of have to weigh it out and just see what works for your business. I've been thinking about, you know, since I talked about those couple of posts with our faces in them, I've been thinking about, you know, trying to be a little bit more strategic about the way that we post our portfolio items, so it can be kind of a mix of those in that post.
I would add to that too, Sarah, for you, like your son can also be an advertiser. So you might not be able to take your clients' faces in pictures, but you can basically tell a testimony of a story. You know, we did this type of therapy today and we saw this improvement and this family is really thankful. You know, and it might not be able to include some of the specific details, but you can get to the idea of that.
But they might
quote
also,
of your family in there.
right, and I think they might also be willing to be featured on your social media too. It's just a matter of just asking them if it's okay if they're featured, so.
Yeah, because I think that fun and advertising go together for you too.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely like a mix of both. You want everybody to know you're professional, you're clear, you're doing business, but when you make yourself more relatable, you also attract people to, you make it so it's not so hard line, they don't feel like they can approach you. I know, I seen Stuart tweeting Cooley last year, did a really fun post that got them a lot of engagement, and I've seen that it was, I think it was 1.5 ago was popular, but what they did was watch the van as they go, so you were supposed to take a picture of their van, how stop the driver, the driver, and I see a lot of people got interested in that. It just made them engage with the company more, and that grew really popular. It made them feel more personal, more personal.
Well, something I would do that I keep in mind when I'm doing social media is what do I like to engage? You know, it's very personal, and I think that's an extension of how you make your own page personal. Right? You think about what it is you like and try to post similarly, because that's another way of saying this is who I like. You know, you can use a like it or you don't even like it, whatever you like, but at least I'm being true to my business model, who I am, you know, having that opportunity to show people this is what I'm about.
And I don't know, I'm sorry, no, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, another thing that you can think about including in the social media mix is just community things in general, or your neighborhood things. I know, was it last week that gentleman went missing from PJ's, and so we just made sure to share that. The police had been down to Star Media to look at our cameras to see if they could see anything, so we just made sure to share those things and shared it again when they found him. And I know that's a kind of a negative or a sad thing, but, you know, share other fun things that are going on in the community. You know, we try to share when there's chamber events going on or tourism events going on, and they, as they said, they do the same things for our businesses, so.
One of the best shares that we get, and most engagements that we get, this is a perfect example. The city had a boil order a couple weekends ago. It happened on a Saturday or something like that. The ad was awesome. I got an email about it. I made a quick graphic and I put it out, and we had thousands. I had.
That's because you guys were the first ones to put it out. No one else knew about it.
You know, and it happens to us a lot. We'll get fake $10 bills coming through the community. Whatever that is, we essentially recap the things. It's new.
Yeah.
It's new. It's something that's going to happen. You know, maybe there's something really awesome in this news. You put a graphic on it. You recap it. You share that information with people. There's an article that comes out, maybe a little bit to your product, or heating, cooling, or whatever that is. Recapping that information and kind of putting your own spin on it.
Yeah.
It's really simple. I mean, the boil order was like ridiculous. We try to do that every single time we can. It was good for the community and our perspective. We wanted to get that information out. But for us, when you have posts like that mega engagement, all of your other posts get more engagement. They get seen. Facebook is like, oh, Linda likes the chamber. We're going to show Linda all of the chamber things. So like that week, all of our social media was awesome. Exactly. So look for those things. And I follow other social media that like, I like your guys' posts, or like your ads, or like you can show your portfolio. So I'll look at that and then I'll think, oh, maybe I should do my Facebook post in that direction. Sam and I both do design work, and we have a different eye. We see things differently, and I love that because Sam puts out these really funny posts that I would never think of, and then people are like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. There's a lot of dogs because she loves dogs. And people love dogs, and so it's great. Like, she has a great perspective. So, you know, that's kind of an encouragement for us is to look at what other people are doing. How how, you see a post that just has a ton of engagement. What was happening in that post that was engaging with people? And does it fit your business? Why does it? How can you make it work? My post, 90% of my posts are like, you're probably your solution. Stand at the party, and I love it every single time because she brings the party to the chamber. However, you have the team. So that's what I got business to do. You guys are bootcamp right now. Let's go. And I'm like, let's bring dogs to bootcamp. We should. There you go. Anyway, any other questions for Janelle? Anything you'd like to share?
I have something. Seriously, the timing of this whole thing, and I signed up for all 5. The timing is perfect, so thank you to the speakers and the information you guys shared.
Yeah, thank you so much for everyone who presented, everyone who asked questions. This is really what the chamber is all about. I could have had Janelle speak for 2 hours and, just barely, she's looking at me like, what? No, we wouldn't do that to you, but we could, really she has that much information, to add to your business, and Lisa and Melinda, and so sometimes I apologize, it's hard for me on the sidelines, I'm like, tell them about this, it's so cool. There's so much information. The chamber is here for you as a resource, member or not. I want to see your business grow. I want to see you be a part of this community. We want to see it keep going. So, the other thing that the chamber does, kind of mentioned it a little bit, free resources. We're like the king of that. If we can figure out a way to get you connected to something for free, we're going to try our best to do that, especially during COVID. A lot of that for us is relationship building. We want to connect you with people that, are interested in your product or service, or have a way to, kind of get that out there in the community more. So don't hesitate to call me. I'm here, email me, text me, Facebook Messenger, we'll video chat, whatever you want. I think I figured out most everything at this point. Google Hangout, I don't know, Zoom, we're getting it. We do have a whole series of free videos. If you haven't caught them, they are on our website, they are on YouTube, they are on Facebook, but they're basically live videos of me talking about how to get your product sold online, so kind of transitioning to an online market. Also talking about more Facebook, like all of the Facebook, a lot of demonstrations on how to use Zoom, which, like you said, they have changed already, but for a lot of things, it gives you a place to start thinking about that. Google and YouTube are a huge resource for us. I send videos from there all the time. Somebody doesn't know how to use Zoom, we're like, here's a video, it'll tell you how to do it in 2 minutes. And our experts are a huge resource for us, so we would always want to refer to them as well for those big things. But thank you everyone online. Any online questions? No? Okay. I think our online people are working hard and watching at the same time. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming. Invite every single person to the next boot camp. I know I sent out an email asking if you'd like to be in the in-depth training, just so you kind of get a clue about what that is. We're going to get a little bit deeper and help answer a little bit more specific questions that you guys might have on these topics. I would love if you would send me an email with those questions in advance. Sam and I will be facilitating that, but we might also reach out to Janelle and say, I think Janelle is the expert to answer that, or Lisa's the expert to answer that, and maybe help kind of get you connected to them directly as well. So thank you, and thank you. We really appreciate you guys, and hope you have a wonderful day. Well, hope you come back in November. That's going to be a great one. I can't wait. I'm going to take